Good afternoon. How are you today? Well, I waited so long because I was writing and I had meetings. So it's pretty chilly out now. It's in the 40s. And there's a decent wind, as my hair may tell you. So that's where we are this way. Now, I'm a little cheered by a couple of things happening. They talk about justice turning slowly and finally. Think about it. The mess that happened down at UVA, down in Charlottesville, that was 2017. 2017, when the then President Trump said, "Oh, there are good people on both sides." Well, today a jury in Charlottesville had the case finally involving what was charged as a conspiracy to violate individual rights and liberties. And in reliance on a Virginia theory about how that applied, there were verdicts against those who were involved in that terrible, bigoted, discriminating, violent demonstration. And Jason Kessler, who is the founder of Unite the Right, and what's the other guy's name? R. Spencer, I believe. He was the one who came out with the slogan of alt-right, alternative right, more right than others are. And he's also the one that talked about the possibility of cracking of skulls. And you may remember that a woman was killed in that incident when one of those maniacs drove over her. Others were injured, and a couple of them were among the plaintiffs. And one who was injured pushed his fiancée out of the way and probably saved her life by doing so as the car came on. In any case, there's a whole variety of verdicts that came down involving real money. $500,000 for the organizations, millions of dollars for some individuals. The fellow who drove the car and killed that woman who was there resisting this racist protest, he's spending life in prison. Good for him. So this is an example of judicial justice slow to come, but it has several elements that you see a lot. Who brought the case? Citizens brought the case. Citizens invoked the law and went to court. And they went to court in Charlottesville, a university town that experienced all of this. And the people, through their representatives, these citizens, all who had legitimate claims, shut these bastards down. That's my French. So there must be another way to say it. We're not happy about the Rittenhouse trial, but there may be other ways to get at that offensive decision, which was injudicious, unjust, and I think over time there'll be elements that tell us how bad and unfair it really was. And I have friends who are lawyers and who are commentators and civilians who know a lot about this stuff, and they say we have to defer to the verdict. No, we do not. No, we do not. Think of all the lynchings and things that happened in our history. Look at all the show trials we've had in America. There are good trials, yes. And when our rules and laws are applied, and they're applied fairly, and there's no deception involved, yes, the jury system, I suppose, is about the best we have. But in many ways is also very bad. It's very hard to approximate justice in a system that has junk science and the prejudices of humans and ways to cast around how you choose juries. And we use people who lie and that you can't detect that they're lying. And I think this recent case was a good one with that bogus crying jag we had, which all dry, no tears. Interesting, don't you think? But we have the Arbery trial, and I thought the prosecutor there had a fairer setting for her presentation. And the story may seem more ridiculous to an intelligent person. That is, that some guy who was running, who was without arms, chased by 3 people with arms repeatedly, is then shot dead, and they say they shot him in self-defense. I'll really have to go back to square one if they win that one. Then let's talk about the Hill. there are encouraging signs. You know, the select committee in the House that's looking into the January 6th offense, the insurrection, they've talked to 200 witnesses, and with the additional subpoenas today, they've subpoenaed 40 people. So I think that they're enjoying the advantage of not only members who are focused and concerned about it, but they also have people with talent, if you will. We have 2 prosecutors, and then one of the members of the staff is a prosecutor. And at the beginning, they weren't going to hire one, but they thought better of it. And I think it's made a big difference, both to their teamwork and to their ability to figure out how to proceed. There are still limitations on a congressional committee that are not as effective as a prosecutor. But I wonder if at some stage they can't be convinced to put together a package and hand it to the Justice Department and demand a U.S. attorney look into it. So presently there's a crossover that's interesting in this sense. Grand jury subpoenas have issued to people from Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers. Now that is suggesting the joint planning between the Trump people and these organizations, these right-wing groups. I like that development because I believed it since January. I thought it was obvious when we saw pictures of the Oath Keepers, protecting Roger Stone, for instance, and probably taking direction from him as well. And I think in time, not maybe through Stone, but through other people, we're going to get evidence of just that. So it's chilly out. It's too late in the day for me to encourage you to get out today, because by the time this is posted, you'll probably be sitting by a warm fire, eating something fine in anticipation of the great Thanksgiving meal. So be well, and it's nice to have some glimpse of better news in terms of, if you will, the movement toward restoring the republic. So all the best. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.